Oh, hi. Can you see how hot it is? You guys, oh, I gotta melt. Good thing I have an ironing project I have to do. Today, I'm gonna show you how to make a monogrammed hat. So, a few months back, one of my lovely, talented, artistic poet friends ordered some Frank Rossitano hats, like from 30 Rock, and I thought it was the most brilliant idea. So he got a couple of Frank's sayings on his hat. One was half centaur, the other one was volunteer pilot, and they're just beautiful. In trying to fill out my Etsy shop with stuff I can make custom orders for, I added some of the pictures of his hat, and I finally got another order for it. It's not a 30 Rock reference. He just wants it to say wine wife for his betrothed, not betrothed if they're already married, then for his wife. I don't know what other implications there are, but from the outset, it seems kind of adorable. You know, this is me showing you how I make shit for my Etsy shop, and when has that ever fucking stopped me before? I can show you how I do this in case you want to make your own Frank Rossitano hats for Halloween or whatever. Here's what you need. I desperately need to refill this water bottle because it's hot as shit and I feel like garbage, but I have to get this out today because Etsy decided, hey, you know what we're gonna not block out is shipping on Sundays. I don't know why that happened. I got in a real panic about it earlier today, so now we are here knocking this out. I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone and do a video while I'm at it. Okay, I need water real bad and then we'll get to the making, shall we? That makes it sound like I want to make kids and that's never gonna happen. I also got strawberry Arnold Palmer because I'm fancy as shit. Do I make... No, I'm too hot to make this into an alcoholic beverage, but a little bit of gin in this is really, really nice. Ooh, but it's a can, so I can still do this the old way. Here's what you need. Don't you miss that a little bit? I'm just not willing to drink when I don't want to drink just for the sake of doing a video. Glad that's the case. That seems like a logical conclusion to come to. I don't think any of you are like, I can tell she's completely sober. This is garbage now. Anyways, that's a whole nother conversation to get into some other time. What you're gonna need is some felt, just the plain old multicolored stuff you find at the craft store. Immensely versatile. Whoever decided felt needed to exist, I would like to kiss them on the cheek. You're also gonna need some kind of heat and bond. This is a little piece of Wonder Under. It's like double stick tape, but for interfacing. Iron-on glue, essentially. It's not tacky or anything, and there's this paper backing. You don't want to touch the paper backing yet. We're gonna use our next item. You need the iron and an ironing board, which is right next to me. To attach this, I'm gonna double check the instructions just to make 100% sure because it's been a little while. Ooh, you know what? I have a press cloth specifically for this. It doesn't say you need one just because there's less risk of me fucking something up when I have one. LOL JK, I'm just ironing directly onto the paper backing of the fusible webbing because that press cloth wasn't doing anything. And it said to just iron right on it, so. All right, I see steam happening. Okay, so there are a couple courses of action you can take from here. You can take a drawing utensil and some scissors and draw on the back of this and cut out whatever shape you want. If you want to do some stuff by hand, since I'm doing very precise letters, I'm going to be using my Cricut to cut stuff out. So if you're curious how to do stuff with the Cricut, I'll show you that in a second. So additional items, if you're going old school route, is just the hat you're going to press stuff onto and some type of ball shape, or if you have one of these little foam heads, this is going to work perfect. But anything you can use to help shape something head-shaped inside of here. I'll show you specifically how I'm gonna do it with the foam head just so I don't melt that. But yeah, that's all you're gonna need to apply this. So like once it's all cut out, you take the paper off and then you iron it right on and you're good. Of course, I'm gonna do a more complicated thing. The next thing I need to do is get the correct font and size it up and everything in the Design Space program. I've already measured out how big of a section I can use on the hat. So it's about 2.5 to 3 inches of usable height here and then 4 to 4.5 inches wide. I'm gonna see how the letters are looking with those measurements. This is note to future me. The font is Arial. I don't know if that's accurate to the Frank Rossitano hats, but that's what you used last time because this matches what you have and it looks pretty good. Write it down somewhere. I've done this a couple times with custom sticker orders also. There's a specific font someone has wanted something in. I'll scour the free fonts on Cricut and get it as close as I possibly can without knowing the actual font that they used for the thing, and I just don't write it down after, so then I gotta go through the whole process again. So it's Arial, bolded, whatever size fits the hat. Figure it out. This is what it looks like on here. The nice thing is you can highlight the whole thing and figure out what the full width of the whole thing is. It says the height is taller than the space space I have, but there's this huge gap here, and I'm going to be pulling all these letters out separately so I can close that spacing myself when I go to iron it on. So I'm not worried about that. Let's get the Cricut mat set up. I do specifically have a fabric mat. I honestly don't think it matters. This just has a stronger grip than the other ones, but I've used it so much. You can see other felt fibers on here. Even with the heat and bond, it still gets some of the fibers on it, which sucks because I think you probably end up going through these mats faster. I have my felts. I'm gonna peel the paper off now, and it should have this different layer on the back now. If that's not staying, you need to iron it a little more. See the difference? And also, this is the important part, you need to peel that paper off because now it's not tacky, but it's grippier surface. Line this up in the corner. And I did make sure that this is a big enough piece. You can additionally take some kind of tape, washi tape or masking tape. Nothing, I wouldn't fuck with duct tape on these mats, but I have plenty of washi tape. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my Cricut on, open all this shit up. I'm just gonna put the shit in the thing, load it in. There is a bonded fabric setting, which is what that means. It has bonded webbing, whatever you want to call it on there. Shitty noise is going to happen in a second. It's when it's connected but not cutting that I feel like I'm getting tiny lasers shot into my ear holes. And now we can watch it work its magic. Alright, I don't think it ruined anything. But you can tell this part of the mat is less sticky than even further down just because the letters came up a little more, where further down it has better hold, so it's going to keep it from doing that. It still did the job. It's all straight lines, so there is one spot I think I'll have to clean up a little bit. It should be good. That's what the scissors are for. So I can shut this thing off and get that fucking noise to stop. Honestly, just because there's 2 rounds of ironing steps to this, it seems like so much bigger of a project than it is. I mean, the materials for the orders aren't super cheap. Fucking heat and bod, it's so expensive. Or Wonder Under, whatever version of it you have. Oh yeah, you can see there are a couple spots it didn't cut all the way through on the corners. I would imagine the Cricut has a harder time cutting out very whimsical, more intricate fonts, like calligraphy type things. I'm expert at procrastinating because if something has more than one step to it, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot. I made 30 different pieces of jewelry, like all of these necklaces and all of the earrings. I posted in my August product launch, Etsy listing update, whatever video the other day, because those were all very quick things to do. I mean, necklaces are more of a pain in the ass, which is also why I was putting those off, because earrings whip together in no time. This is how my brain works. That seemed less daunting. Making 30 different pieces seemed less daunting. Actually more, because there's some multiples, and that seemed easier than fucking with this hat yesterday. So this is why we're here today. I can't complain about having to leave that family get together earlier because I did it to myself. I could have done this yesterday. I just didn't realize that the shipping was set for a Sunday. I thought I was good till tomorrow. What I'm trying to say is I'm complaining for no reason, and I'm gonna shut up about it now. Ooh, beautiful job. Are you so impressed? Okay, we'll deal with the placement of that later, but for now, we need to get something meshed in here that isn't our own actual head. Also, I'm not letting this touch my own head because sharing hats is gross. Also, I haven't washed my hair in like 3 days and have been sweating up a storm, so that is not something I'm willing to inflict on my customers. You know what's wild is when people that aren't from here buy stuff from my Etsy, because this is just some dude that wanted a custom hat for his wife and doesn't watch my stuff. As far as I know, if you're here, hello, but I don't think that's the case, which is good because that means I come up in search results for things, and that's dope. That's the hope. Sorry for rhyming. There's something more special and exciting when it is one of you, because it's like I'm sending a present to a friend that's giving me money for it, but it just feels more, I don't know if intimate's the right word, but it's just more fun when it's someone I am familiar with. If I see the name and get to relate it to someone I've had conversations with in the comments and stuff. Every sale I put plenty of care and everything into, but I like writing little notes to you if you're someone that I'm familiar with from the channel. So what I'm getting at is thank you to everyone that's been supporting me, whether by buying stuff on my Etsy and my Patreon and my coffee and shit, or just for hanging out. That is also rad. You're all delightful, and I'm so lucky to have you around for the ride. It's been a wild time, and I'm very appreciative that you're here. Okay, man, I just can't stay out of the cheese this week. But you know what? You need to tell people that you care about them, and I care about you. So thank you. I'm excited for what's to come, and I'm proud of what we've done so far. Remember when I told you I was going to show you how I do the head thing, and now everything's out of frame while I'm doing it? Let me tilt you over here a little bit. So I got my foam head, move the iron away from where my hand is going to be. We got a little cold compress for his forehead, or her or their forehead. You wrap up a towel, t-shirt, whatever you have laying around. Also, the beauty of snapbacks is there are adjustable snaps at the back, so you can tighten it if you're not getting a good hold at the front. And this, more than anything, is just to keep you from burning your own hands. So now I'm going to take my letters with the webbing on the back, and we're going to start lining it up. You can pin stuff as you do this. I hope the person that this is intended for is really excited about it, because I assume it's for some type of trip or something she's going on. Not knowing this person does let me come up with my own backstory for why they're ordering it. And I like to think that this person has had some kids with this woman in some recent years and really wants to thank her for all of the work she's been doing for their family, and is treating her for her birthday to a girls' weekend in Napa Valley, California, and she gets to go on some wine tasting excursions. Maybe that one where it's kind of a safari trip where you also drink wine. I vaguely remember hearing Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart talking about it, and only because I frequently hear Mamrie Hart's voice in the back of my head saying, "What's up, Tilda Swinton?" when she's talking about a llama or something coming up to the bus thing they were in. What do you ride when you're on a safari? I don't know. This is a thing I do when I'm driving, especially if I'm in traffic and there's the same car near me for a really long time. Even if I never see who's driving or anything, I just kind of build this backstory as to who they might be, where they might be going, where they might be coming from. As if being stuck in traffic isn't mentally stimulating enough, I need to just create my own reasons for anything. My creative juices have to invest themselves in something. So it is a fun game to play with other people just to hear what kind of weird shit they come up with. And if you get to kind of build the backstory together, it's a beautiful way to spend time in the car. I think we're pretty much there. I'm gonna measure the sides just to see how far in the letters are. Any of you that do graphic design or do typography type things are probably losing your fucking minds right now. Okay, so I'm gonna take just a scrap of fabric. You can take another press cloth, whatever. I'm going to do one letter at a time. I'm trying to show you while also not fucking up this hat. I only got one shot at this. Even if I just get it down partially with this, and then I can go over everything with like a harder press. Exactly perfect. I feel like the kerning's a little bit off, but I also think it would have looked weird if the I's or the E's were off. So I gotta stop being a perfectionist about things and get it done and get it sent out. Gonna lay the head kind of on the edge so I can get more pressure. It sounds like I'm treating a head wound. I'm just gonna check the corners. I do this with pretty much everything I iron down. All right, gonna hit it one more time. I think we're done. Right. I think we're good. All right, I'm gonna shut this iron off and get it the fuck away from me because it's hot. It's hot, I'm hot. I don't like this anymore. Woof. Okay. Our hat's done. That part's definitely tedious. I should tape a line up at the top, but I'm always so afraid that the tape glue is gonna get hit by the iron and then stick, because I've had weird textures come off from stuff like that in the past, and I only have one of these hats. The other thing that's comforting me is like this slight bit of wonkiness that's in the lettering on the listing. Nothing extreme, but when you're looking at text especially, I think it's easier to see any imperfections. I don't need to worry about anything. I get so in my head about this kind of shit. And also, since I've been filming this, I've gotten 2 separate orders. Thank you so much. I also had a friend come over yesterday who's the sweetest. I need to hang out with her more often because it's been like 2 years since I've seen her and I miss her so much. And we had really good catch-up time, but I made her a skirt out of this polka dot fabric. I don't think there's enough for another skirt, but it's definitely gonna get used for something. That felt really great, so I got paid for making a custom order. As I keep mentioning in some of my videos, I'm totally open for custom work, especially as we're getting into Halloween. I know people have costume pieces they want help on, and we've been talking about it a little bit throughout the year. Obviously, the more time I have to do that stuff, the better, leading up to the big H. Is that a thing people use to refer to Halloween? I just need you all to know it means the world that I'm getting work like this and getting to work for myself, because things have been a little slower lately and it's just been a tightening of the belt type situation, but that's part of the sacrifice of trying to run your own business, as you've got to go pretty much skint for a while, and it's not something I haven't dealt with before, so it's all good. Every single order adds up to paying my rent and my health insurance, and I get to do it for another month, and that's the whole goal. Where yes, there's a scariness and a unsure, lack of stability type feeling to that, but god damn, it feels good when I get a bunch of stuff. Not that I don't like spending whole days working on building up inventory, but then if I spend days and weeks working on stuff and then posting it up somewhere and that doesn't sell at all, then it kind of feels like lost time, though it'll move eventually. Someone's gonna find it. But when I have a bunch of specific orders and get to actually mail that stuff out and have room from where all the inventory's been sitting, it just feels more productive with my time. I hope I'm never coming off as trying to be dramatic about how hard it is or anything, but it's hard work. I will give myself credit for one thing in this world, and that is I have very good work ethic. I've always been a really hard worker. I'll do the grunt stuff because it needs to get done. Someone needs to do it type thing. I'm not above certain work. So especially when I get to work for myself and it's all stuff I want to be doing, I'm gonna work even harder than I do for other people. It's just nice when the hard work gets paid off at some point and it's not just done in vain, you know? Not that I ever feel like it's done in vain, because even if something never sells, it's still good practice making the thing and testing something out and doing all the workshopping for it. I'm gonna hop off my soapbox, get this packaged and ready to send out, get those other 2 orders together that came in today since I'm going to the post office anyway. I've been talking about some of the stuff in my studio vlog I'm working on. I'm gonna give like a dedicated studio vlog a try, because I do the adventure vlogs and I'll take stuff with me, but I always just end up filming in my shop and it's mostly talking about Etsy stuff. So I think that is just what I feel pulled towards. I watch a lot of studio vlogs and I find it very, very interesting. Even when they delve into their own life stuff, it's still interesting to see people working for themselves. If you want to see the actual packaging of these orders, I'm going to do a little segment for it for my studio vlog right after filming this. Check that out later in the month, probably early September maybe, and we'll see how that kind of series goes. In the meantime, I hope you're all having a great week, and I will see you all back here with another video on Saturday. Thanks for hanging out! Draw on the back of this, oh fuck, that's hot.